Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm so happy that you're with me here today because this episode is one that is going to speak directly to your heart. You know, every so often, an artist, a human being comes along whose work doesn't just entertain, it moves you. It reaches that quiet place that remembers love, loss, hope, and everything in between. My guest today is one of those rare artists. She's a Billboard featured singer-songwriter, a Broadway performer, a guitarist, a producer, and one of the most soulful creative spirits I have ever met. She's also my friend and someone I've gotten to meet in person, which, you know, is pretty rare with the Breakthrough Show Network because we do so much virtually. But she is someone whose artistry and authenticity remind us why we do this show in the first place, to celebrate the moments that change us. Today, we're celebrating her brand new upcoming single, For a While, a powerful, emotional song written for her upcoming pop rock musical, Esperanza. This song and this story is about love that endures, grief that transforms, and the kind of hope that carries us through even the longest seasons of waiting. She has a gift for blending art and life in a way that make you feel seen, and her voice, her words, and her music, they all remind us that even when life hurts, there's still beauty to be found in the in-between. So grab your coffee, your drink, your soda, whatever you're drinking today. Take a deep breath with me, open your heart, because we are going to dive into the story behind the song, the heart behind the artist, and the breakthroughs that come when we allow music to heal us. So put your virtual hands together, everybody, and please welcome Nicola Vazquez back to the show. Nicola, welcome back. We're so excited to have you.
I am so excited to be here. Thank you very much for having me. I love coming here.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this. And when I heard, I cannot wait to talk about the new song because it's so good. And I feel like I'm sort of, I don't know, like I'm a record that's skipping because every time you come out with a new song, I'm saying the same thing.
Uh-oh.
But it's so true. It's so every time I just feel like it's sort of it just takes me somewhere. And for me, that's the amazingness that music can do for us. How do you feel about that?
I think that's the reason why we create. I mean, I know it's the reason why I create.
Yeah.
I love for people to be able to create a space where people can put themselves into or insert themselves into my music somehow. Maybe it's the story that I created, but maybe there's a story for them that
Mhm.
is unique to them and they can put themselves into the music. And I feel like the best creators and the best writers, and I'm not always good at that, but I try to be, are able to have audiences insert themselves into your music.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And it takes you somewhere, and it really I think we talked about this actually the last time that you were on the show, how we can all have, you know, we hear a song and we have like our own, we know that the artist had to go somewhere to create that piece, like that it was something that they went through or they witnessed or an inspiration that they have. And then we as the listeners have our own, you know, interpretation, if you will, of the song. And I remember having that with your song that you came in here to talk about the last time, which is The Distance, where you had a sort of, you know, a inspiration behind it. And then I was like, well, this is what it means to me. How do you sort of process that as an artist, that, you know, knowing that everybody's going to kind of receive it in their own way?
I think that's the beauty of art is that no two people receive it the same way. I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think it's amazing when a person can be like, "Oh, that takes me back to, whatever year it was, and I was in high school and we were skipping rocks, or, oh, wait, that takes me back to like that horrible breakup, or wait a second, that song could be about my brother. No, that song's about me, and it's unique to everybody. I think, again, I really think the beauty of art is being able to, or having the ability to be able to do that. And I hope to do that on every song that I create, but I'm probably not always successful.
Well, I mean, it's subjective
Yeah,
too, right? Like some people are really going to
yeah,
resonate towards some songs, and other people are going to be like,
absolutely.
"That's not my favorite," but you
Right.
know, I might like another song too. Yeah, but I feel so strongly that you feel when you're listening to, well, I will speak for myself. I feel when I'm listening to your music that you are telling, a story, and you sort of, I feel like there's almost a permission there to process it how I want to. I feel like, we talked about that when you were on the last time also about just the inspiration behind the song, but you give that permission. You're not like married to it for other people. You have it for yourself, but you give people that space to do it as well. This song, For a While, that is coming out, we're going to talk more about here in a little bit, but it is part of a bigger project you're working on that we also discussed the last time you were here. But for anybody that's watching, tell everybody about this amazing musical that you are working on.
So this musical is called Esperanza, which in Spanish means hope. And it was inspired by a true story of a lighthouse keeper in the 19th century in Rhode Island, named Ida Lewis, who single-handedly made heroic rescues in a rowboat, like a rickety old rowboat on the turbulent waters. And it is unique and inspiring for more than, in more than one aspect, because she was a female lighthouse keeper, of which there were hardly any, and she was really tiny of stature, and she was able to make these rescues, solo rescues, by herself with nobody else, and on turbulent water and in a rowboat. And she didn't want any accolades. She just did this out of the goodness of her heart, which is even more astounding. And she made a lifetime of this, like it was incredible, her life. I've read a couple of books about her, and so she was really the inspiration behind this musical, which spans the life of, like, basically 3 decades of empowered female lighthouse keepers, and sort of the island that they live on, and the adventures and the loss and the love and the heartaches and the comedy. There's comedy and murder in this. I'll say that it's chock full of a lot of stuff that you need in theatrical worlds for sure.
Yeah.
But definitely, the centerpiece is this island lighthouse and the lives and how they're intertwined. And it's just, I feel really excited about it because of the story that inspires it, and because I'm working with a wonderful playwright named
Mm.
Jason Huza, who we met through a mutual friend, and we really hit it off. And a couple of years ago, we started writing this. And my music, so I'm composer lyricist, so all of my music will be in it, and all of my lyrics. And we're writing and rewriting, and now we have the chance to. We've just been selected for a really prestigious residency in January and February called the Johnny Mercer Writers Grove
Wow.
at Goodspeed Opera House. And as a matter of fact, it's in Connecticut. And so we'll be going up there I know, in the snowy Connecticut at end of January, early February, to work with some like really like Tony Award winning dramaturgs. And I'm super excited. We've been rejected from a lot of things, and now we've finally been accepted. So it's really exciting to be able to develop this musical further and
Mm.
bring it. This is a long game. Musicals
Yeah.
take a long time. They can take years. So we feel like we're at the beginning of it still, but we're chugging along, and
Yeah.
very excited. Yeah.
That is exciting. It is exciting. I love musicals so much. And so I'm
Yay!
like, I'm hanging on to your
Like,
coattails
yay!
here. Like, dang, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because my youngest daughter was co-hosting Project Joy with me this morning, and she has been writing. She's 9 years old, and she has been writing a play.
Woo!
And I
Good.
know I'm inspired by her. But
Awesome.
somebody she was putting out the call. She said, I need people to be the voice actors for this production. And she was putting out the call this morning, and somebody said in the comments, is this a musical? Because if it is, I'm out. Like, I cannot
No.
sing. She was like, I cannot sing. I don't want anybody to hear me sing, whatever. But it was so funny because we were talking about this on the show. We went through this period of time. Do you remember probably a couple years ago, all the sitcoms on TV were having like a musical episode? Do you remember when this was happening? And it was like,
I do.
all of a sudden it got super popular to make like a musical version of the show. And it was one of those things where it's like some people were like, yes, musicals, and other people were like, this is not.
Yeah. I think people have people have don't get me wrong, I love all types of musicals, and I certainly grew up on them in addition to pop rock music and all different types of music. But, like the Golden Age musical, that's only one type of musical,
Right.
and the la 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 la, that's like one style. But there are definitely, I shouldn't categorize it as la 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 la. Someone out there is going to kill me. That's like a purist. But what I mean to say, so over the top, but what I mean to say is that the pop rock musical, like The Outsiders that's come along, Spring Awakening that came along once, pop rock folky kind of musicals, they're really on the rise. And I think like they're searching for, musical theater is searching for uniqueness, something that hasn't been done before, something that people can grasp onto, and maybe and also the younger generation that's not in touch with or didn't have exposure to Golden Age or legit kind of the conventional musical, shall we call it, so I think it's a good time, an A.S. Mitchell songwriter from Vermont who was relatively unknown and then went on to receive every Tony imaginable for her incredible work Hadestown, which is she's just an incredible songwriter, but it took her 13 years to get to that point. I mean, that was a really long game, but I have deep respect for her. I'm definitely, she's somebody that I would love to emulate, and somebody who I definitely look up to as like a singer-songwriter and as a person who made theater.
Yeah. I mean, to me, we just could, when we add, incredible songs to an already amazing, script, it only takes the feeling of it even deeper. And I just feel like we're in a time right now that we could really use all the help we can get in the world of love and empathy and feeling things, and so it could only, in my mind, it could only be a good thing. I have a good question for you, but before we get to that, we're going to play Lighthouse, which is an older video. Set us up for this, Nicola, because this is an older video, but it's like really the heart of the upcoming play.
Well, like long before this musical, which in its first generation was called Lighthouse, but then we went online and we like Google searched and found out that there were so many like other pieces called Lighthouse. We were like, oh geez, I got to change the name, darn it, they stole it. So that would have been like the first choice. So then we thought, well, what do lighthouses symbolize? Well, they symbolize, it's sort of like this juxtaposition between despair and loneliness, solitude, and on the other hand, hope, as a beacon of hope, to sailors, to shipwrecks, to people drowning. And so it became the perfect title, Esperanza. So going back to long before Esperanza was even germinating as a seed, there was my fixation with lighthouses and what they symbolize. And I wrote the song Lighthouse, and then the video came, and we filmed it out in, I think it was Long Beach Island in New Jersey. We found like the perfect lighthouse, and everything's come
Love
full
it.
circle.
I love it. All right, guys, here is the video for Lighthouse, the song that seemed to inspire a lot of this. So we'll let you listen to it, and we'll be right back after this.
You want to be my friend, ever hear my poetry? You are broken.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show, everyone. That was Lighthouse by our special guest today, Nicola Vazquez. I closed my eyes for a moment during the listening to that, and really could just picture that playing out on stage, and I got chills. I got
Oh,
chills.
thank you. That's gonna actually, that's the way that we have that mapped out for now. Is that it's gonna be a recurring theme, which in music we call a leitmotif.
Yeah.
To get really technical about it, but it's really a recurring theme, and you see that a lot as a device in musical, sometimes even in film. Dun, 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 keeps coming back, but that they'll be underscoring, and then at the end, the entire ensemble, finale will be singing that. So it's a symbol of. I know. Like we need this. I'm thinking about what it symbolizes. Hope to humanity, and just in a broad sweeping stroke of that we are all that lighthouse. We can all be that lighthouse, and we can all be rescued as well, and we can all rescue each other.
Yeah.
And actually, that all of this is just coming to me right now. That's the mark of a good host, because you are able to inspire us to think sort of out of the box and on the spot. And you go on a show and you think you know what you're going to say, and you think you got it all mapped out, and then like the host, sort of like a really good host like yourself, will like really sort of steer you in that direction, and cause you to think about it. And I think that's it's great.
I mean, that's sort of the joy for me about getting to speak to other creative individuals like yourself, is because we know and understand the value of coming together and having these conversations, because it can make us think of things that we maybe hadn't thought about before, which only makes us more creative, which is sort of dangerous and wonderful at the same time.
No, it's great,
So
because I take all of it and I'm like archiving it, like it's going in there, and it's entering there, and it's not going to come out. It's not going to leave me. And, and whether we speak with dramaturgs and directors and mentors and people that help us to shape it, that's going to give us a lot of food for thought and information. So
absolutely. Well, this is the final word I'll say about this song, is that lyric, just that I am a lighthouse, that is so powerful. But the rest of the song almost has a feeling of being super humble, like yes, I'm this, but there's a softness. There's like a, I don't know, of realizing, like, yes, I'm powerful, but also I don't have to, I don't know, I don't have to be mean. I don't have to be harsh. It's like, I'm this, but I'm wearing a dress. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's a softness,
I think that might be the video, because, there's in a lot of my compositions, there is this push-pull kind of effect. I've noticed that, and I'm not sure if that's something I do on purpose, or maybe something I like, or maybe that's just life. And I feel like it makes for better art, where you have this juxtaposition between hope and despair.
Yes.
And so, like, when Lighthouse was conceived, it was this sort of lullaby kind of melody. Almost sounds like a Disney thing if you put it by itself, but then underneath it are these like heavy rock, dirty guitars, so it's like rock meets, and you get all of those emotions, I think.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And I remember too, with The Distance, you used that lyric, push and pull. And so when you were saying that, I heard you sing that in my head at the same time. But I could, that is, another amazing, wonderful thing about music, is it can make us feel any range of emotions in just the, 2 to 4 minutes of a song. We can feel all the things. I want to talk about For a While, because that is the song that is coming out 1 week from today. And I'm special and got to hear it already. So everybody, you're welcome. I'm going to give you a little clip here coming up shortly, but take us through. Did you know when you were writing the song, did you write it to be a part of Esperanza, or or was it something else altogether?
So yes and no. Originally, this song was like something I had ideas. I had some lyric ideas a few years ago. I had some melodic ideas. It kind of was shaping into a song, and I never really liked it. It never really landed for me. It just didn't do it for me, you know? And then when we started to write this music, so I put it away, right? That's what
Yeah.
it got shelved, so to speak, in the library. Yep, yep, in the library. See my big library behind me. So, or my guitar case, or wherever it got shelved. It just was like, okay, I don't like. We started writing this musical, and it became obvious and evident that I needed more music, and we needed more things to further the plot and the storyline and the character arcs and all those fun things. So when we started thinking about the two main protagonists, uh, there's a part in the musical where Mario and Esperanza, who are lovers, married, newlyweds, I should say, they share. And then 10 years later, when Mario is missing and presumed dead, presumed, I say is optimal word because I won't give it away. It's like the final message and the vow to be right behind you, sparks Esperanza to stop waiting and just set out and go on a journey to rescue him. So, I was like, okay, I need a song here. And then I remember Jason, the playwright, saying to me, I had sent him these lyrics, some of which were incomplete for a while. And he was like, I really love this song. And I was like, I really hate it. I really do hate it. I seriously hate it. I don't know what to do with it. I've never known what to do with it. And then I started thinking about the story, and I said, wait a second. So I came up with a whole new riff, whole new sort of melody and rhythm, and started messing around the guitar a little bit, started singing it, and I thought, now this could work. So I ran it by him, sent him a little like phone recording, like those lousy phone recordings. That's how everything starts out, though, guys.
It's so true.
You think it sounds really good in the final mix, but then when you hear it on the phone recordings, I would like burn those. Like, don't ever release those. They're like garbled and everything. So I was like, he's gonna hate it, but then he really liked it, and so I thought, I think maybe we have something here, and that was it. I mean, it was just like it needed the jolt of a story. You know what I mean? Instead of just a standalone song that just wasn't really going anywhere, and it needed that to sort of shape it and give it a life, and it did, and now it has a life. It really does, and it has a life outside of the musical too, because I'm releasing it. I think a lot of people do that as well. They're like releasing concept albums now, and just standalone songs, but they're part of something bigger.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was talking to my daughter about this. This is a little side rabbit hole, everybody, but I was talking to my daughter about this the other day because did you see, now the name is slipping me, but there was a reality show on Netflix where they were putting together music groups, and very recently, and there's a couple bands that came out of that. I think it's called Building a Band, but there's a couple bands that came out of that, and one of them my girls are going gaga for because the boys are so cute and the music's so nice and whatever.
Of course.
And so they released last week apparently it's an EP. I was corrected. And so I thought of that as like, I don't know. I just thought of that as like a group. I don't know. My daughter was like, "No, Mom, it's an EP," and she was schooling me on how I'm still stuck in 1980 whatever when we were in the music store buying, albums.
Right. Well, I mean, people are releasing albums, but less and less now because of the online streaming and because there's no more like hard copy. I mean, there is vinyl. So for the most part, it's streams, of which we make very little money, and especially us unsigned independent artists. Yeah. But nevertheless, it's what everyone does, so you have to do it. So they're either doing singles and dropping a whole bunch of, like they call the waterfall effect, where you drop one single, next single, the next single, and then you make an EP, which I think can go up to 8 singles, right? So 8 songs can be. I thought it was only like 6.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
So-
That's what I don't understand, the nuances of what's included where. Because
I think now I'll have to go look this up, or somebody can like chat GPT it or AI. If anyone's tuning in and they like want to geek out on this, I thought, and I will stand corrected, of course, that an EP went up to like P, which would be like the long plane, you know, the real album would have been over that. But maybe they've changed it, and like, you know, it's gone into some like new prerequisites or something. But a single is always a single, and you can drop. You can have a single can have actually a few songs on it. Yeah. So it's very confusing. It's like a single is not really a single, and an album is not really an album. So if anybody wants to like check that out and get back to us, I'm so happy to know.
Yeah, Jessica at thebreakthroughshow.com. Just email me and let me know. Correct.
Let's keep.
It's fascinating to me how things have shifted, but so I wondered about that with this song. Like, you know, a lot of the songs you're putting out or have been, like with Lighthouse, that was already out of pre, you know, the thought of doing the musical. And so, are there going to be some songs that we're only going to be able to hear like when we go see the play?
I think I'll probably end up releasing everything. But as far as reworking them and rearranging them and reorchestrating them and redistributing them, in that kind of form, you'll see it for the first time when you see the show. So those kind of things become what they call adaptations. So Lighthouse won't be like one song with a verse and a chorus and a verse, you know, sung by one person necessarily. It might be pieces throughout, and then an ensemble kind of a thing. And that will be the same for basically all of the music. Like there'll be duets, there'll be trios, there'll be solos, there'll be snippets, there'll be underscoring. So in that kind of adapted versions, you won't hear it until you see the show in that form. But some, you know, so all of the songs I hope to release, and maybe there's a thought about, you know, getting like some big Broadway star, if we can, you know, to like maybe, you know, or something like that, even though I'm supposed to be in the show, and that is definitely a goal. That there is the secondary protagonist, the mayor of the island, named Lucha, which means fight. So I hope that that will work out, and that I will continue to have that part, should everything go as planned.
I love that though, because you want to talk about geeking out. I love to watch a movie or something and have the person that either that they're talking about in the movie, or like the person that was behind the scenes of the whole movie period, like have a little cameo in there, and where like only people who really know about the movie or the story or whatever know. Like I'll be back going, I know her and she wrote all these songs. So that when we see you on stage.
So I mean, I was in Les Mis, so I'm still an actor. It's definitely one of what I call the multi-hyphenate plates that pie plates that I'm spinning in the air, and I feel like now it's okay and it's acceptable to be a multi-hyphenate. Before it was like, oh really, you're this, you're that, you're that. We could just focus on one thing. Well, now everyone's everything. So you know, you think you have 5 or 6 gems of expertise, you know, and then come to find out that so-and-so next to you plays like 10 instruments, enhances all the things you do and brings more to the table. So there are certain things that I don't do and cannot do, but everything that I can do, I'd love to employ. And I mean, when you think about like Shana Taub in what was it, the musical about the suffs, right? About the suffragettes, right? I'm sure you heard of that
Yes.
musical, right? That was recently opened and closed. She wrote the entire show and then cast herself in it, or
Yeah.
had them cast her in it. And why not? Because she sings.
Right.
I feel like if it, it isn't a deal breaker if it doesn't work out because, some producer comes along and is like, we need to hire, all these famous people and whatever. Then so be it. But we're definitely striving for that to happen. But first and foremost, the priority is for me to lay the groundwork for the compositions and lyrics for sure.
Right. All right. So I want to go back to for a while because I know that I mentioned it's coming out in 1 week, and you're releasing the song and a video, which the video is. I immediately was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who was this person that you've used before for this video, or is this somebody different?
No, this is. I try every time I do a video to use different people. I don't know why. It's like it's just it's a different adventure, like let's try something different, never do the same thing twice. So in the industry and in my neighborhood, and our paths had crossed previously, and we sat together over like Mexican food one night and thought about different concepts and things like how can an indie spend as little money as they can and yet pull off some kind of video, that maybe has some kind of effect that is more than you just doing a selfie in your apartment and whatever. And that's also good. There's merit to that, and don't think that I didn't think about that. So originally we were going to do the video outdoors, but as it turned out, it was like a super hot, that was like 105, it was like a heat wave, it was a few months back, and it was super, super, super hot. Beverly opted to keep it indoors, and then all the power went out in my house, so we couldn't film in my house. So I ended up calling the guy who co-produced the actual song, coming full circle for a while, and he was like, oh, just come over to my house, and thank God. So we ended up filming the entire video in one day at his house. I guess everything happens for a reason. It was probably not meant for me to run around outside in 105 degrees melting.
We were all struggling last summer, and none of the other ones of us were making music videos, so it was not going to be happening.
Like, I'm a diehard, and I'm not risk averse or anything like that, except for maybe like if it comes to bungee jumping or stuff like that. But I'm generally not risk averse, and I'm generally not squeamish. But I was like, that day I was like, do I really have to go outside? So it was for the best. I think it definitely did happen the way it was supposed to happen. We just went very simple. Used, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 cameras, but it was really quite simple. Used some lighting and brought a friend of mine on to do some hair and makeup, and that also helped. That always helps, actually. It helps a lot. It helps more than you know. When you're having a bad day, a little hair and makeup, it will fix it all. Folks out. It'll fix it all. A lot of times people think that, oh my God, like that, I guess they think that Hollywood always looks the way Hollywood looks, and actually it takes quite a bit of effort to look that way. Not that I'm comparing myself to that at all.
Well, I mean, like, I've gone to a lot of celebrity events over the last couple of years, and I can assure you they don't look the same. Bad thing. It's just and there's something, I mean, you'll have to tell me how you felt about this, but like, I started having one of my daughters is wanting to be a cosmetologist, and so I said, well, I'm gonna put you to work right now, and I'm gonna have you do my makeup before my shows. So a little practice, and then but it really does something I've noticed. I feel so much better about myself and what I'm doing and how I'm putting myself out there when I'm, just take that little bit of time beforehand.
Yeah, it's grooming. You know what I mean? It's like self-care. Everyone's like, just you can do that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you're also lights and cameras can be extremely harsh.
Yes.
So it helps to have certain, we're geeking out again, on like the technicalities of like
No.
nobody wants. I read in this book recently. I can't remember the book, so I can't exactly quote it. I'll paraphrase it, but it's like nobody cares about your process. Nobody cares how hard it was. How much it rained, how long the CD took to make, and how much money you spent. They just care how it
Yeah,
makes
but
it sound
see,
in the
I
end.
don't
And I thought
I don't
about
necessarily
that.
agree with that
I
because
was
you know
like,
how many videos are going viral right now of people like a day in the
I know.
life of like they're
I
doing is
know.
pouring
I
packets in
know.
their drink, filling up their coffee, throwing their hair
Yeah.
in a messy
I
bun, making their
know.
bed,
I
and
know.
those go viral. So I don't want to hear it.
I know. And you know what? And I have to say, what you're absolutely right. So like when I read things like that, and then I go, oh, damn, nobody does care about the process. And then I see someone like, okay, like we're gonna follow me in the day in the life. I'm walking my dog, and and I'm like, wait a second, I have the wrong take on things. Like I need to do that. But then, I guess at the end of the day, you have to do what feels genuine to
Yeah.
you. Because if I'm making a video and I'm completely fake, it's not, I can't really live
Right.
by it or feel good about it.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many views it gets, like I feel like I might be prostituting myself, in
Yeah.
that regard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would be more interesting, I guess, is like showing not so much like your coffee and your, you know, or maybe that is interesting to people. I really don't know what's interesting anymore. I used to think it would be interesting to see like what it was like in the behind the scenes
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff. But then, I mean, like the real intricate workings of like how you get in the studio and like what you do and that. But I'm not sure that people have that kind of attention span anymore. They just want to be like, oh, what coffee is she drinking? Like, what
Yeah.
lipstick does she have on? It's like, oh my God.
Well, let's appease the people, okay? What did you have for breakfast today, Nicola?
So I just had my like granola, and I had my like little yogurt mixed in and my little coconut milk. Like, so how boring is that? Like
No,
I'm
that's
just like,
amazing. We love granola, don't we,
oh,
everybody?
granola. I know, like I'm so not granola, but I love granola. When you think of like granola, I have a funny story about granola. So, not as granola, but just the proverbial granola. So like I used to send like and still do sometimes, emails out to like all these like sort of folk music, like
Mhm.
coffee house type acousticy places. And typically, you know, I just don't get responses back because my music sort of doesn't fall into that. It's like it has tinges of folk,
Mhm.
and there is some guitar based elements to it, but it's not like the folk that you would think of like as folk music, right? Folky folk.
Yeah.
And so I just remember this one guy saying to me, like, this is more of a granola place, and your music is kind of, like a different cereal than that. And I thought, like, seriously? Like, I'm actually not granola enough for you. So
Yeah.
it's, and I'm like, I eat granola for breakfast every morning. But
I'm going to leave the show
oh
today. I
gosh.
actually bought the ingredients to
Oh,
make granola.
oh
And now I
yay.
feel like
All right.
after the show, I'm going to
No.
make granola today.
No, yes, you're gonna make granola, but I mean that's just my granola story because I guess people think of like folk music and like the wholesome, the vegan, the good, and
Yeah.
and that's great and everything. That's another conversation altogether, but I feel like the fusion of the styles of my music, it's
Yeah.
always been harder for clubs and venues historically over the years. I've had to push more and hard. Like I'm not, like they would say, well, you're not heavy and metal enough for like the hard rock clubs, but you're
Right.
not folky enough for the folk clubs. And it's like, well, just get me in there. Let me just show you that the music is good and
Yeah.
that you might like it, and just take a chance. So yeah, that's always been the struggle with the fusion of styles, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your your real, I mean, I know you redid the song for the, you know, the play coming out, but was there anything that you leaned into, not just with the play, to put the finishing touches on this song? Was there anything like in your own personal life or experience that you leaned into for the lyrics or the song itself?
Yeah, you know, this song, since it started a while back before the show, it originally started as this, I visualized this journey of, you know, almost like coming up a mountain and getting to
Mm,
the, you know, to the top and like looking down and just going like, I'm here and I'm gonna rest here and I'm gonna love this and I'm gonna love you, you know, and then and sort of tying that into, you know, rest here, my baby, you know, like
mm,
let's just hang on to this moment and breathe and really, really it sounds really trite, but it's so and so hard to do sometimes, but just enjoying that moment of being here and being present and knowing embracing the moment and knowing that that person or that you are going to be behind that person and everything's going to be okay,
yeah,
you know, before you journey down again, you know, or go any further, you know,
yeah.
and certainly ties into those two lovebirds in the show, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I've worked so hard, I feel like on myself over the last couple of years is being more present in the moment because I
Yeah.
do tend to be, I'm a very nostalgic person. I love to like
Hmm.
reminisce and I'm also a
Yeah.
planner. So I'm like, like
Same.
torn between those
Same.
two worlds and I'm really trying to enjoy myself. And I actually bought myself, it's not here yet, but a new band for my watch and the words
Hmm.
on it say right here, right now.
Oh, well, there you go. And I think that could sum up. I think that's a t-shirt right there. Oh well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I put it on the band of the watch, but you know, so can't really steal that one. But you know, I mean, like the t-shirt for a while, right here, right now. It's the same. It's the same, one and the same,
Yeah.
because it's really enjoying that moment, savoring that moment, um, and everything that's coming ahead is
Yeah.
going to be coming ahead. But right now, you're just taking in that view,
Yeah.
um, and knowing that there's goodness. Um, so yeah, I think but like I said, it had a life, but it didn't seem to land quite 100% for me, and that's why I shelved it for a while, and then it came back. It got resuscitated, I
Yeah.
suppose you could say.
I
Yeah,
love that because it was for a reason. You know, we
yeah.
sometimes I can't tell you how many ideas I have had for shows and guests and topics and all these things over the years that I just sort of put away. And people have told
Mhm.
me like, why don't you just throw that? Like, if you're not using it, just throw that stuff out. I'm like, are you kidding me? 6 years from now, I could be like, that's the best idea ever. You know, and it could come back. You don't know. You have no
Yeah, and
idea.
I know. And there's more to the song. I mean, I don't know if I'm sort of like jumping over something that you were going to ask me, but
No.
um so what I'm very most I would say most proud about the song, and this is another geek out moment, of course. But it stems from necessity is the mother of invention. Like when I went into the making of it and the craft, you know, and the engineering and the production side of it, which is very important when you're producing a single or co-producing one. I did not have the money to farm out like parts to like an electric, you know, guitar player. Even though I play electric, but I was like, oh, this is like Andy Summer kind of stuff. Like I need like a serious, you know, cat studio cat, you know,
Yeah.
to do this. But I didn't have the money, so I thought I'm gonna have to do this myself. And I was like, how am I going to do this? You know, like, and I know I can do it because I did it before on the distance,
Mm.
but I forgot. That was my last single. So I said, I can do this. I can put my nose to the grindstone. And I can do this. So again, because of necessity, because I didn't have money and I was on a shoestring budget, I arranged and wrote all the guitar parts and played them all, did all the vocals, the backing vocals and everything, did all the arrangements, even co-arranged the cello parts, which I had not. really, really done. I just had like a mini hand in it in the distance, and this was like, so I really had like a big foray into co-production and doing a lot,
Mm.
all except for some of the programming and obviously the mixing and mastering. That was, that's
Yeah.
not my bag. But I felt really proud because at the end I was like, wow, like every single electric guitar, acoustic guitar, like it's all me. Like I did all those parts and there's so many of them. And like when it came out in the mix, I was like, that can't possibly be like, oh yeah, I did that. So I was really proud, as a woman, as an artist, that was just like another multi-hyphenate type of box that I could check off. So I was very
I'm
proud of
even
that.
more blown away now because I thought listening to it that you had done more stuff, like more working with people and more production and more, like it came across as, I don't know. I'm so blown away right now. That's so amazing. And you must be so proud to realize that each part is, like you said, a little piece of who you are, like a little piece of your talent, but also, it does I understand that part of being, multi-hyphenate and enjoy and really truly enjoying and being passionate about so many different things. And how does this look to weave it all together? Well, it looks like For a While.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely people helped in the sense of the weaving
Yeah.
part. Like I laid down all the tracks I
Yeah.
heard, but I didn't hear it in terms of the way the tapestry came out interwoven at the very end. I mean, that's the mixer and the mixing person that quote mixes it all together. That's like baking a cake and taking all the ingredients that are on the table and putting them into that bowl and mixing them and fashioning it into a bread or a cake. And that's a talent and a skill above and beyond something that I have. But I was proud of myself for feeling fear and overcoming the fear of like not being able to do this by myself. So I just feel like, especially as a woman, because I know I doubt myself and I doubt my abilities, and even the abilities that I have, sometimes I doubt and I think, why do I doubt that? Why, that's like why do we do this to ourselves, And being able to like overcome that and get past that was a huge accomplishment, I think. So
Yeah, I love that. Well, I know that people are going to listen to this and they're going to be glad that you did that too.
I hope so. I mean, I hope it's the start of, like, I feel like you're never done. Like
Yeah.
the moment you say, I'm done learning, I'm done mastering this or figuring out this or playing another instrument or doing something different or conquering a fear, the moment you say you're done, you're stagnating.
Yeah.
You're not moving forward. And that to me is scarier than anything else.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. All right. Well, we're going to take one more quick break. And on the heels of that break, you're going to hear a little snippet of For a While. And then we'll be back to continue our conversation with Nicola Vazquez. We'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
It's been a long uphill climb, and all of you on top with a smile, and the labor to
All right. That is just that's all you get. That's it. A little tiny clip for a while by Nicola Vazquez, coming out in 1 week from today. And that is on October 24th, 2025. There will be music and there will be a video, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. And I love, like I said, how the video came out, but the song itself is just so and it's so funny that it's a part of the play as well, because it sort of sounds like waves coming in and out almost to me. Like it's just I don't know. I love it and I hope people are going to love it for more than just a little while.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm so glad to have the support, having the support as an independent artist, of people like yourself. And shows like this and podcasts are really, really invaluable. And we greatly appreciate that. I know I do.
I appreciate you sharing it, because like I said, I think we're in this time. I'm just convinced that the more goodness that we put in the world through music and conversation and connection with each other, that I mean, they can't do any wrong. It's got to help. It has to help. And so that's where I'm at with it. And I appreciate you sharing it with us and coming back several times now to share your music with us. And I can't wait for the day where it's going to be like, the play is coming out on this day.
Yeah. Until then, I'm going to keep doing my thing and keep, like I said, musicals are a long game, but there'll be more songs along the way, and more opportunities to talk about them and geek out and have fun and, and talk about inspiration and, and maybe I will start doing some social media clips about the day in the life of why not?
We want to know about all the granola and whatever's in you're drinking, and the behind the scenes of music. Look, not everybody is going to resonate with every piece of content, but I am that person where I will be watching a movie and I will think, I've seen them somewhere before, and then I'll Google them and I'll be typing in, what are they doing now, and what's their life like now, like an old movie or whatever. And so I'm fascinated by that, because I think that even, I think sometimes people forget that those of us creating content, that we have like, everyday lives where we're wearing sweats and eating granola. Like it's just, and so I find it fascinating to see that human aspect of everybody. Cause I think we're very quick to forget that today, that we all are just sort of human beings at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know. Like my daughter always says to me, Mom, you look so much more like me when you don't wear makeup. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to take that, but okay, I'm going to take it as a compliment. Or, I think what she's trying to say is, don't worry, like you're fine without makeup, which is, kind of a cool thing too. But yeah. I'll have to do a video like that,
Yeah, we'll have to do one maybe one day, because now that I know you're coming to Connecticut for the other thing as well, which that's a beautiful area where you're going to be going for the stuff with the play. But we should do like a mom and daughter like dual video of no makeup. No makeup. We're beautiful just the way we are.
See how that flies. Okay. Wait, she looked so much better when she was on the show with makeup. Oh my God.
Listen, okay, I was planning for an episode recently where I had this brilliant idea for the thumbnail, and I wanted myself and my co-host to be looking at each other, but obviously we are in different states, so I wanted us to be like side view. I will never suggest that for myself again, ever. I tried to take a couple pictures. That's not happening.
Oh, right. I don't know how we would, that would be like, I guess if I face that way and you face that way, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was just that it's not a good angle for some folks, and some folks are me. Right. And so it's not happening.
No, it's all about angles, man. It's all about angles. I'm like, yeah.
It is.
Totally.
It is. I'm not doing it. Yeah. That was a horrible idea. It will be cute one day for people that can pull it off. I will not be on that photo. It's not happening. Not even for a while. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I'm so glad you got to come and tell us about the song and the play and catch us up on everything that's been going on. Anything you want to leave people with today, a thought, where to find you, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go to my website, you'll probably be able to, not probably, definitely be able to have all the links, all the icons are there. So you'll be able to go to Spotify, my social media, links are there, icons, Instagram, TikTok, all the fun stuff, YouTube. That's probably the best central location, I could say. And it's super easy because it's my name, which is right up there, Nicola Vazquez, or right down there, I should say, or right wherever it is. I'm trying to point to
it's all the places.
Yeah, there it's every place. NicolaVazquez.com, and of course Vazquez is VAZQUEZ.com. Even if you misspell it, I've noticed that it will still pull me up.
Isn't that convenient?
So, yeah, that's good. I mean, something's going right with the Google algorithm or something like that. So you will, there is a place where you can click to pre-save it on my website. You can click to pre-save it in just about every social media. Instagram is Nicola Vazquez Music. I just didn't want to give you too many things to remember. So it's easiest to remember my name.com.
Yes.
And if you have trouble remembering my name, you can think that it rhymes with Coca-Cola. Nicola rhymes with Coca-Cola.
There it is.
Just don't put in coca-cola.com because I won't pop up. I promise.
She is not yet doing the commercials for Coca-Cola, everybody. No. But I did put the QR code up there in the corner of the screen for you guys to scan for pre-saving. And you can also, I put the link tree as well to all of Nicola's places. So they're all in one place to make it easy and convenient for all of you people out there. So definitely go pre-save for a while. And 1 week I will be mentioning it for sure that morning on Project Joy. We'll have a little celebration party next Friday.
Thank you. And of course you can go on the website and you can see where I'll be playing and the different projects and things that I'll be posting and stuff that's happening and going to be happening. That's the best way to keep up. And you can join the mailing list too if you want to keep up to date.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. And yes, if you guys get a chance to, you must go see Nicola live in person. We had the pleasure of doing, my husband and I had the pleasure of going to listen to her perform. When was that now? That was last year about this time, right?
Wasn't it, or was it earlier? It was about maybe a few months. Was it a few months ago, or was it last year? It might have been last year around this time. Yeah, it was like
I will have to go back. See, now the time is not a thing with me. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Is not a thing. Okay, got it.
But you must go listen to Nicola live because I mean, look, we're also in an age where so many things are really heavily produced, and you're just what I really appreciated hearing you live was that you were exactly the same live as when I heard you, the produced recordings. And so, I mean, it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you very much for saying that. I mean,
you're welcome.
You almost can't 100% reproduce studio recordings, but we try to get the essence, and certainly, not not having to use auto tune and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
live is good, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
You're welcome.
Some might not say that, but yes, that's
Listen,
what we
you
strive
never know
for,
what
though.
I don't think anybody goes to anything live and well, I can't say anybody, but most of us don't go to anything live and expect it to be what we get when we pop in a CD or a
Right.
record or whatever.
Right.
But I think there's really you do such a good job at it being an experience for what it is, but it also isn't so far from what we might have heard or when we go to your YouTube or something like that either. And so I appreciated that. It's just natural it for you, and you can tell that you were born to do this, Nicola. And so
thank you.
many years of success coming your way. I know it.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and my main goal has always been to perpetuate this career and to be able to sustain myself, make a living at what I do in the arts, and that's been the biggest aspiration and the biggest goal. Not fame and not fortune. Yes, making money and being able to sustain myself, but not. I always tell my students, because I teach too, and I always tell them fame is not a goal.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not a sustainable goal anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I tell this people the same thing when they come and have a show on the Breakthrough Show Network. If your goal is to just be famous and have everybody know you, you're in the wrong place. Not a good fit.
Yeah. Next. All
right, my friend. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you, Jessica.
For sharing the music and the behind the scenes and all the fun stuff. And we look forward to having you on again when we're ready to show another piece of the puzzle coming soon.
Great. And I'll look forward to anybody's comments if they're watching now or later and want to send me any questions or whatever. I'm happy to answer them.
Love that. Thank you so much again. Thank you to all of you out there in the world, whether you're live or on the replay. We are going to see you. We have more music coming your way this season, you guys, by the way. I'm going to be back with you November 7th for another returning guest and musician, singer, songwriter. Ray Coates is going to be here, who has a whole album. And for real this time, it's not an EP, it's an album. And we're very excited about that and having him really tell his complete story of breakthrough through this music. And so excited to have Ray on the show. That's coming up on Friday, November 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So don't miss that with us in a few weeks. So thank you again, Nicola, for being here. Thank you to all of you. I'm Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make every day a great day for a breakthrough. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.